Free yourself. Free. Free your mind. Free. Free your heart. Let it go free. I said free. Free yourself. Free. Free your mind. Free. Free your heart. Let it go free. Free yourself.
All right, guys. It's your boy Troy Weeks Music here. We're back with Free Yourself. Whoop, whoop. Glad to be back. I know last week we weren't there. It was Father's Day, so had shows and church and my daughter and a lot of stuff going on at one time. Yeah.
I think they could pretty much predict when we're not going to be here by now.
Yeah, it's pretty much a systematic thing. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in and for listening. We love what we do and we love being here. And so shout out to you guys for always making it happen. You guys still, even though we'll be off for a week, you guys still be here listening and still be active and still be in the chat room and still be here. So we appreciate it. We got something special in store for you tonight. So I'm excited. I usually just pick the topics because I have so much going on. But actually that Courtney picked the topic today. And so I'm super excited to make some changes every now and again, change things up. And so before we get into that, you know how we kick it off each and every time. If it's your first time listening, I always like to introduce you the same way so that you'll understand what Free Yourself is about and where it all came from. It was a vision that God had given me, and I had an opportunity with Savage Media Radio to help have my own show, and that's where it came from. But this is what the basis of Free Yourself is about. Freeing yourself is the final step of the process. It's the release, the woosah, the moment where you cross over and transition from being the victim to the victor. All the steps you needed to get here should have been covered by this point. You should now be ready for the rebirth of your new beginning. If this has you thinking and you're not quite ready to free yourself, that's fine. The moment will be here when you're ready, and it's not to be taken lightly because the awakening depends on you. In this segment, we let people call in so they can publicly free themselves from what's been holding them down or back from being great in their lives. Freeing yourself is the symbolizing or the letting go of that stronghold. Doing it publicly allows you to have the power over that thing. Allows you to tell that situation, that thing, that through the power of spoken word, you now have control over it and it doesn't have control over you. So that's the basis of what Free Yourself is all about and where it all came from. And then we broke it down just a little bit further so you be a little more in depth. So this is where we break it down. And if you have a dirty little secret you want to air out anonymously on air, and this is for you. You want to reveal your sexuality to your loved ones on air? This is for you. Has someone hurt you and you just want your feelings heard? This is for you. Or do you just want to express what makes you feel free? We want to hear from you. You guys are always welcome to hit us up in the chat room. Email us at savageonair@gmail.com with your story. We would love to have you guys on. We love to have people on. So, da-da-da. That's what Free Yourself is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So if it's your first time listening, thank you so much. Now you're part of the family. We call it the People's Platform. So you're not part of the People's Platform in the family. And this platform is for you. So if you're interested in being a part of it at any time, you can always hit us up in the chat room. Hit us up either personally, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace, YoSpace, TatSpace, everything out there. There's a whole bunch of stuff to get in contact with. Let us know what's up. So without further ado, Saturday, 23rd, June the 23rd edition of Free Yourself is going to be taken over a little bit by Miss Courtney. So, Courtney, I'm going to let you take over for now, and then I'm going to be here, and we're going to make it happen.
We'll see. Now you put the pressure on me. See, I'm not used to having the floor on this show. I'm used to literally overtaking Carlos on Fridays. So Saturday,
right, I'm sure.
it's usually, my downtime. So now I have to get my brain working out. But I'm excited though because I get to, kind of introduce something on this podcast that I may have covered on others. And I think this is actually a really good platform to do it on. So, the topic that I wanted to talk to you guys all about is anxiety, but we talk a lot about anxiety, especially on Real Shit Fridays, in the Wednesday show. We talk about it a lot, but I wanted to talk about it in more in depth of my situation as well as more different view of it. So today, one of my friends, Lewis Wolf, he's awesome. Shout out to Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
He put a post up on his Facebook. everybody knows Facebook's my life. So I literally was looking on Facebook all day and I took a nap and then looked at it again because it's been a crazy week. So that was my relaxation. So in scrolling Facebook, I noticed he posted a post that actually read, it was from a page called Anxiety. Straight up, that's all it is, is the Facebook page Anxiety. And he's shared it from there. And the post is, it quotes, I have a massive fear that no one actually likes me. Rather, everyone is just politely tolerating me, hoping that I will leave them alone. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to share this. Because every now and then I find a post that literally speaks my life and speaks
Mm.
to my soul. And I'm like, oh my God, someone found a word for things that I know a lot of us go through. Now, that actually, I'm going to repeat it again and then I'm going to explain something. It says, I have a
Mm.
massive fear that no one actually likes me. Rather, everyone is just politely tolerating me, hoping I'll leave them alone. That is actually my reality every single day of my life. And it's been
Mm.
like that since I was about 8 years old.
Hey.
It's like this really dark cloud of basically paranoia that makes you feel like everyone is looking at you in a negative way, makes you feel inferior no matter wherever you go. It's something that does not go away and you cannot do anything about it. You can just basically cope with it. And in other words, it's a form of social anxiety, but I kind of have a rare form of it because I'm actually an extrovert. I love people. Like I
You
love
do.
to talk to people. I love making connections. I love just talking to strangers and having a good time. But for me, it makes it a little bit more unique because I actually put myself in those uncomfortable situations unintentionally because I just love people. So
Right.
imagine going to a party and you're, chatting with a whole bunch of people and you're having a great time and you have all these different personalities coming your way and you're enjoying yourself. And then all of a sudden you think, oh man, did I say something wrong? Did I say something that's embarrassing? Or are they all looking? Everybody here is skinnier than me. Are they all looking at me because I'm so fat? It literally takes over you, and then that's all you're thinking about from that point on. So basically, to give people an understanding of what Lewis was saying and like that I resonated with, it's exactly that. You feel as though the whole world is judging you and has all these negative eyes on you, and then you feel this dark cloud paranoia, like I gotta get out of this place. But then you're like, damn it, but I love these people. It's like a weird thing to struggle with.
Mm.
Have you ever, well, Troy, I'm gonna ask you this question. Do you think you've ever experienced this, not actually knowing what it was, but like a version of this where you kind of feel paranoid, like the whole world is looking at you and you just need to like go in a under a fucking hole and die, pretty much?
Yeah. See, I think I experienced that because I've always been outspoken. I've always been, you know, say how I feel. And so with that, um, sorry, my phone fell down. With that, I've ran into issues and being in environments for the first time, for instance, and like
Mhm.
I've got my mad confidence, I got this, but feeling like, oh wow, maybe they're not gonna, maybe I'm talking too much, or maybe they're like,
Mhm.
maybe they're judging me because I need to shut up, or maybe I don't really fit in. I think I do, but I don't. Like that. If I've had those feelings as well before, even not knowing it, and then like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm like. Like you said, I've realized like, wait, what's really going on? Like, why am I feeling like that? No one said anything to me. No one's,
Mhm.
when no one's really did anything to make me feel that way. But why am I thinking that way? So I've definitely had those
Exactly.
moments. Yeah.
A lot of people go through and they don't realize that they either can have a form of anxiety, the disorder, or if they just have instances of anxiety and there's ways that they can control it, which is a great way to be. Like if you could figure out if you have instances of this and it's something that you can tackle now before it turns into a full-blown disorder, please like heed my warning and just try to write down in a diary when you experience these feelings because if you tackle it head on, it won't turn into a big full blown thing that you can't do anything about. But yeah, so basically that's kind of what I go through on a everyday basis. Now, how I seem so functioning, and how if I don't say anything, people won't know,
Oh no, right.
is yeah, it's basically by just I kind of take what my husband says a lot and basically just don't give a shit. But when you have anxiety, the only thing you're doing is giving a shit, and there's nothing you can do about it. So to combat that, what I really do is kind of One, I plan out my conversations, and it's so frustrating to have to do that, but
What?
it works so well.
What do you mean playing out your conversation? You write it down like I'm gonna say this and they're gonna say that. Like
Basically in my head though, like not physically like writing it down, but I'll say if somebody comes to me and they approach me this way, like in a friendly manner, tell me, hey, welcome to the house, make yourself comfortable. If I don't know the people maybe, and they'll be like, so what do you do? How, tell me about yourself. I plan out what my potential answers will be based on their vibe they're giving me, and it's a weird thing, I know, but it really helps get through those times when you just don't want to do something that you think is awkward that may not be, but because you have this anxiety, everything you do, you're literally judging yourself for it, and it makes you feel like other people are noticing it. So in order
mm.
to avoid that, you have to make sure that you seem or you to feel seem to yourself confident. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, Troy.
Yeah, definitely confidence is key, guys. Like at the end of the day, you know, people can see that. So if you believe that you're confident in yourself, then other people will believe that. Because how am I supposed to believe? How am I supposed to be
Sorry about
confident in
that.
you if you're not confident in yourself? No, no worries. I'll just tick off from where you stopped about
Perfect.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can I believe in you if you don't believe in yourself first? You got to have that confidence because people can see it.
Exactly. So, so as creepy as it sounds to plan out your conversation, that's one thing that works for me. I'll be like, okay, I know I'm going to this party. Maybe some family will be there, maybe some old friends, but mainly it's people I don't know. That's actually a more comfortable situation for me, believe it or not. If I know that I a don't know these people and two have an opportunity to never see them again, I am so much more confident. I know how crazy that sounds, but I am
No, it makes
so
sense to
much
me
more
too. Like I'm not,
confident.
that's my thing. Like I'm never gonna see these people again. Who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can make an entire fool out of myself. I can have a good time. I can just be me and not worry about it. But if I'm in a group of people that I know me and they have a perception of me already, and it's either a perception that I know I don't like or I want to be perceived in a certain way that I know, hasn't been shown yet, I automatically freeze. Not that I'm not social. I am a social fucking butterfly. I am the life of the party, but deep down inside I'm freaking out because I know that my night is going to be filled when I go home with doubt and worry if I embarrass myself, already feeling embarrassed about little things that I did that I don't even know if anybody noticed. But it's like a big thing. So
What?
the what were we gonna say?
No, I'll let you finish. I wanna.
No, no,
I
no.
was just gonna. I'm just curious as to. You said something about how um you. I'm trying to think about exactly what it was, but being in the party,
Hmm.
and in the, and people were thinking something, but they didn't say anything to you about it.
Hmm.
Like you're already thinking like, dang, what was it? I hope it'll come back to me. It was something that you said.
Come
And
back to
it make.
because I'll
I
probably
just wonder
repeat
where's it all
myself.
coming from. Like where is it? Why do you like? Where is this coming from? Why do you feel
I don't know.
like
It's just no one knows where these things actually come from when it comes to like mental health and stuff like that. Sometimes it's a scenario that triggered it. Sometimes it's an experience. Sometimes it could be a trauma. But for me, I know that it may have come from my lack of confidence my whole life, pretty much, because I grew up really around nobody my age, so I didn't know whether or not
you were
I
doing the
didn't
right
know
thing,
people's
being appropriate?
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know whether I how people perceived me because I wasn't around that many people. So as I got older, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to be because I wasn't really around
I
people.
got it. I got it. When you said
So,
perceive, you brought it back to me.
mhm.
You said how people perceive you. You said something about how you felt like people were already perceiving you a certain way.
Yeah,
But people were perceiving you a certain way, so you already felt some type of way because they're already perceiving you some type of way.
exactly.
But why were they
Yeah.
perceiving you that type of way?
Well, that's the thing because, and I tell my husband this all the time, because sometimes a part of my personality will come out and he'll be like, "Why are you acting like that? That's not you." And I'm like, "No, this is actually me. This is how I actually am. I love it, and I love. That's why I always say I love hanging around my one of my best friends, Dawn, because I could really be myself. Like I'm psycho, I'm out there, I'm blunt, and I curse all the time. I'm super ratchet, and I enjoy myself the most around her. But I have always been sheltered, and I've always like made myself a certain way to please other people. Like basically, I read people, and however I feel like they will gravitate towards me, that's how I was. So I met my husband when I was younger. So and he gravitate to people who are super nice and super subtle and things like that. So I was like, okay, that's how I have to be. Because growing up, like I said, not knowing how to really be around people, I instead gave people what I felt they wanted. So I was always, super
Ah.
timid and super, not myself, but just kind of putting on a face. So that led to me kind of like feeling like I'm suppressing my actual personality. So growing up, people always thought I was quiet. People always thought I was like a goody two shoes. People thought I was spoiled, I was rich, all this stuff. And I'm like, I am none of those things. So maybe a couple years go by and I haven't seen them since, and I know they still have this perception of me. So I'm over here cursing like a fucking sailor, talking, talking all kinds of ways, being myself and enjoying who I am. And then I end up being like, shit, they're looking at me like I'm putting on a face because they think I'm someplace someone else. So it's like this whole
Oh.
overthinking thing when I can just literally be myself and not give two shits. But it's not that easy.
Well,
So that's
people,
what
one
I'm
thing,
saying.
got you. Now it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I know what people will always have a perception no matter what, because that's just life. I'm gonna use this for example. My twin sister and I live from New York to we moved to the South,
Mhm.
and people thought we from New York. So we always we want to fight all the time,
Yeah.
or we think we're better than you, or so it's always this was their perception of New Yorkers. So they projected that on us.
Mhm.
And we're like, what are you talking about? My sister, she had a little look on her face all the time. Naturally, she just had a look. And
Mhm.
so everybody thought she was evil. They thought she was mean. Thought she was a bitch. They thought all those
Yeah.
things. And so until they got to meet her, and they're like, "Oh no, you're actually really nice." So like, well, she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "We thought she was a bitch." Why would you think I was a bitch? Because she looked like one. This is what
Yep.
I'm saying. Like people's
It's
perception. So
perception.
you can change that by just saying hi or hey or just having a conversation and seeing what people are about. Like
Exactly.
just sitting back and listening. Sometimes we want to go in something and introduce ourselves to everyone. Nothing wrong with introducing yourself, but we want to start taking away like, oh, well, I'm this person, I do this and da da
Mhm.
da. No, sometimes it's good to, if a situation is already happening, just walk into it and just introduce yourself. That's the right
Gradually.
thing to do, and just sit back and listen and chill before you start running your mouth and adding your 2 cents into something. Get to know what's
Exactly.
going on.
So,
Yeah.
and actually, I want to encourage our listeners to listen to me and Carlos's Real Shit Friday because we actually talked about perception. So it kind of
Bullshit
goes hand in
Friday.
hand with this. Yep. So if you guys are, want to know what I mean by perception in a deeper sense than the definition, definitely listen to that episode because we delved into the whole psychological and philosophy of perception. So definitely encourage you guys to listen to that. But yeah, so because those perception have been made of me, it's like sometimes I'm automatically like insecure because I'm like, oh man, I can't be myself because they think I'm this way. So they're gonna think, oh my God, who has she been hanging around? Where did she get that from? And I was like, it's so much overthinking. That's what an anxiety is. It's a lot of overthinking, and you can't do anything about it. But I've learned lately, as of late, probably when I say as of late, maybe the past maybe 6 or 7 years, to try to not give a shit in that regard. Instead, I've been just letting myself be myself. That's why I'm so happy that I also, we have this podcast because I'm exactly who I am inside on this show.
Hmm. I love it.
So it makes me feel more liberated. So I've been liberating myself in that sense, and that's taken away a good portion of my anxiety because before I would always put on a face because that's what people assumed I was. And I was afraid to just really let myself out. But now I don't give a fuck. I literally don't care. And I speak my mind. I tell people my struggles. I do whatever. And however you perceive me, that's your prerogative. So that's kind of how I've been kind of dealing with that. We actually have a chat comment from Daquan Carter, my
Day Day.
baby. He needs to come on this podcast. Um, he
Stop playing
says,
that comment.
most women in our family naturally have the "don't play with me" face. That's so funny. I believe that though.
Yeah,
But no, but
that's
that's
actually
good
true.
though. That's good to have, that kind of, and I don't say like people should like have bitch face and just be standoffish, but when you have that persona that you're not to be fucked with, you don't get fucked with as much. So that's
Yeah,
not a
no, right.
bad
That's also true.
thing. It's really not a bad thing. But yeah, so now I was just wanting to go into um that aspect of anxiety starting off because that post really resonated with me about how the struggle of when you're around people and how it's just always this big cloud of paranoia like all the fucking time everywhere I go. Even when I go to Walmart, if I go to Kohl's, if I go to anywhere,
Oh
I'm
my
thinking, oh
goodness.
my God. I was like, is there something hanging off the back of my shirt? Oh my God, is my one eyebrow like not straight and somebody's looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with her? It's literally a constant paranoia. But for
They could be
people
looking
who
at you
are
because you're
going
beautiful. They could be looking at you because, oh, I like your hair. They could be looking at you because, oh, that's a nice necklace.
And which is very true, and thank you for pointing that out, that that could be a possibility. But when you go through this, all you're thinking about is the negative. And so to combat it, you do think about the positive. Like, man, I look bomb today. I didn't put any makeup on. Maybe I just look right because I'm looking natural and they don't see bitches like me every day, or something like
Hmm.
that. I've been
Right.
trying to adapt that way of thinking. So Daquan Carter also said, at heart, I'm an introvert, but I can be around a group and for some reason lead the group and have everyone engaged. As a youth, I always wanted people to say when they are around me, it was a fun time. Plus, I got the best reality stories I've been told, which is awesome. That's so cool. And I'm kind of the opposite. No, I'm not really the opposite. Not lying. I'm lying because I've always been an extrovert, but I've always had to pretend I was an introvert because I didn't want those weird experiences. Now I don't care anymore.
Mm.
um, but yeah, true. Like it's usually when you're going through anxiety, when you suffer from depression, especially like comedians, people who suffer from mental health issues, they often are the funniest, most engaging people because they feel like they have to be. They have to be to
Mm.
combat what's in their head, or they've been through a lot of pain and trauma that they want to heal themselves and see other people smile through their pain. And so that's the same when you have anxiety and you have depression. You're a regular person. You want to see those, you want to be accepted, so you want to see those expressions of laughter and excitement, and so you're often trying to lead a group and trying to gauge their responses so that in turn you can feel like you are actually making a good impression. So it kind of works hand in hand. But
Mm.
did okay, I've been rambling. It is time for Troy to ask me
No,
questions
I'm
because I know
listening.
he's waiting to ask questions.
I'm listening to you because I feel like I'm learning some things that I may have not known before. So I feel like freeing yourself has been freeing, is introducing some things to other people, maybe like myself. So
Exactly.
that's why I was actually listening.
Aw, people are listening to me. No one listened to me before.
This is the
So
people's
that makes me
platform. That's what we do. We listen.
happy. Exactly. But yeah, so there's that aspect of, when you're in crowds, and then there's also the aspect of when you're alone. That was another thing I wanted to tackle
That's
because
what I
people
wanted. Go
don't
ahead. That's what
people
I wanted. That's what I
yeah,
wanted to touch on. Go ahead. I
people
wanted you
don't
to touch on that.
realize when you go through depression or when you go through anxiety, because I mean, speaking from my terms, I have more anxiety than I do have depression, but I do have really bad days and really bad weeks and really bad years. But my anxiety is here to stay. So,
No, it's not. Don't say that. Don't ever say that. It's gonna
well,
leave.
thank you.
You have power over it. It doesn't have control over you.
Very
Okay?
true.
Remember that.
Very true. Put the positivity into the
That's
universe.
right.
But when you have anxiety, especially when you're alone, it's the darkest and the worst times for you because your mind does nothing but fuck with you. So for me, I know
Hmm.
that when I'm alone, when I have nothing to do, when I'm not occupied, I start thinking of people who hurt me or things that made me sad or things that I feel like I'm not getting in life or needs that are not met. And all of a sudden it turns into being depressed. And it's a huge issue for me. And that's why my whole life I've always had a million things to do at once. I have to stay occupied. I call it type A. I call it being a Virgo. I call it just being productive. But really, I'm just trying to keep my brain from thinking. So I always have all these things going on. I always have to plan things. That's one thing that helps me get through things is having things to plan, having like occasions to look forward to and parties I gotta throw or all these things to just
Yes,
distract
you do.
myself.
Hmm.
Exactly. So distracting myself is just how I deal with it because when you're laying in bed and you have nothing to do and no one's answering their phone and you have no one around, you're thinking about, man, why did that bitch walk out of my life? Why is she no longer my friend? What did I do? Or you're like, damn, I wish that I could get pampered or something every day. Not every day, but like I wish that I could have like breakfast in bed given to me or something, on days where I'm down or like, just dumb shit. That's superficial nonsense, but you start feeling what's the word I'm looking for? You start feeling sorry for yourself is exactly what happens to me. I start feeling sorry for
Got you.
myself, which then
Hmm.
turns into me doubting myself. Then I'm like, well, I guess I'm not worth it. I guess I don't matter that much. Maybe I don't do as much for people as I think I do. Maybe it doesn't resonate because maybe I'm actually a piece of shit and I'm just doing the minimum. So you start doubting yourself and all that turns into a big blob of depression. So I just hope that I'm being a voice for a lot of people because seeing my friends post, it's like you feel so good when people put your emotions into words that you can't form.
Right.
So seeing that was awesome. I was like, oh, somebody else understands exactly. It's not just me. I'm not crazy. So I hope I'm doing that for other people, explaining it in a detailed way as best as possible to let them know they're not alone because it really sucks. Honestly, it really sucks. Every day is a struggle for people like me. Every day is a wonder and a worry, and you worry constantly, but the best way to combat it is just to look positively towards the future. If you have to, I don't recommend distracting yourself because that really suppresses a lot of stuff and it's
Right.
not
That's
good.
like drink. That's like being an alcoholic. Don't suppress it
Exactly.
because you're just covering it up. I'm good. When this is
Exactly.
all said and done, we're gonna get rid of this anxiety. So let's finish.
No, but yeah, it's something you shouldn't do is try to hide it and run from it. So there's days when I just lay down and I let myself think of this sad stuff so I can cry and I feel 10 times better. I rather tell people to do that and feel those feelings and think those thoughts and do whatever you have to do because you feel like $1,000,000 when you're done. I'm telling you, it's like so much better the next day when you're like, fuck, why was I upset again? Never mind. Rather than trying to distract yourself and then all you're doing is thinking about it just that much more the next time and letting it get to you that much further the next time. So don't suppress things. Don't be me. Please don't be me. Don't put a bunch of things on your plate because you feel like you have to run away from the world. Because you just end up feeling like you're spreading yourself too thin and you don't leave any time for yourself to just reflect. Reflecting, I always tell people to listen to that Usher song Let It Burn. That song actually has a lot of meaning. Just think about things and let things hurt you and get through them because it will help you in the long run. Just deal with it. Deal with it now, and then you'll be that much stronger later. So I always tell people that song is not just catchy. It has a lot
It
of
has meaning
meaning
and
to it.
purpose.
Exactly, it has meaning and purpose. So I that's my advice to people. But okay, Troy, this is your show. So I want you to spew out what knowledge I've given you because I feel like I've given you so much bullshit.
Absolutely not. Actually, you never give bullshit because you actually think things through. If you actually really look at it, you really think things through,
Oh,
and
thank you.
they're organized in order before you say them. That takes
I
skill. That
try.
takes talent. So shout out to you, Courtney.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
gotta write things down, and I gotta like even when you're talking to me, sometimes I gotta write things down, like in my conversations, in my relationships, and just in life. Like I'm like, dang, you talking too fast, you talking too
Yep.
much. And I want to interrupt, and I have to learn not to interrupt. I have to learn like if it's that important to me and I want to say
You
it, I'll write
have
it
to
down.
interrupt me though, Troy. Just like you just said about your sister, about Troyelle, you have to interrupt me. Okay? It's
No,
nothing's
I
gonna
never get
happen
you
if you
to.
don't.
I never let you take control, and I never let you. And then sometimes I'm learning in this, the whole aspect too. So I just wanted to let you get as much out as you needed to, so that we could strike some points. Because the more you talk, the more you deeper you get.
I
And
try. I try. I
yeah,
just try to be as genuine as possible and as honest as possible because I've always been a talker, Troy. But this has given me the opportunity to talk a bit more and a little bit longer. so, so
well,
I've
guess what?
always,
Talking a little
it
bit more.
works.
Guess what? Talking a little bit more and a little bit longer has done for you.
It it's done
Oh
so
yeah.
much. It's
Got
done
it.
so
See,
much.
I ain't got to say no more. Got it. Yeah, but you know me. I'm the prince of positivity. I guess I need to
Yes.
hashtag that too. And so with
Yes,
that,
please.
Prince of Positivity. I like that. Come on, Holy
I
Spirit, give it to me.
love it.
What's important, because that's how my personality is. Literally, like that's who I am.
Mhm.
I think it's important that where it starts, like I was talking about last time we had for yourself, is that the habits of 21. It takes 21 days to break a habit, and to break
Mhm.
that anxiety, you have to begin to tell yourself that I can do it and you can't stop me. Like I'm not letting nothing stop me from doing what I do, because that anxiety is stopping you from living the life
Yeah.
you need to live and being the best you need to be.
It really
And
is.
that's and I can do it and you can't stop me. Write it on a post-it note and stick it everywhere.
Yes,
It might
I
be a little
have to.
facetious, but right, I can do. You can stop me. And if the first thing you do is go brush your teeth because you want them to be pearly white, then put it in the bathroom. But the first thing you do is go get you some orange juice because you're thirsty. Put it on the refrigerator. Like, but
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it makes a difference. I can do it. You can't stop me. You'll start thinking, oh, that thing that's been trying to hold you
I
back. Tell it.
definitely have to practice that, so I can get that positivity into my brain and let it like, sink in there.
Yeah, it has to sink in, and it has to be a consistent thing. Because you think about it this way: if you have anxiety, you're not only fighting against the negativity that you have to deal with on a daily basis. You're fighting the negativity of that anxiety, but you're trying
Yeah,
to have a positive day. So that's two negatives. But when you think about it in math, two negatives make a positive.
that's true.
The negative of life and the negative of anxiety can be a positive, but it
That
starts
is
with you
very
believing that.
true. I didn't think about
Yeah.
it that way. When you break it down
You know,
that
I'm
way,
very,
that's
you know how I get. You know how I
I
am.
know.
I'm very visual. I'm very like. I need to compare it to something to see, because that's how I am. That in order to learn, I need you to tell me the story. I need all the details. I can't. That's why I
Mhm.
can't watch bootleg movies, because I feel like I'm missing out because homeboy's standing up. I can't see the left corner of the TV. No, I can't do
Right?
it. So if you didn't know, now you know. Troy don't like bootleg movies. It's not against. I'm not against bootleg. If they're a good copy, it's like the actual official copy. You know somebody,
Mhm.
know somebody, know somebody. Then we talking. But if it's the one that was recorded in the backyard and somebody
Mhm.
in the backyard theater behind the projects, I don't want that. I'm
Somebody
not gonna watch it.
coughing all in this.
Yeah. You remember that scary movie with Gina King? I when she was eating that fried chicken and all ratchet.
Yep.
Don't go in there. Don't be that person. Don't do it. I can't watch a movie like that.
Oh, Daquan
Um,
also said, Prince of Positivity, hashtag POP, hold it down. So we
oh
got
wow.
to make it a thing.
I love it. Come on, Daquan. Woo, woo. Yeah, I love it. Prince of Positivity. Like that's really who I am, and that's what I'm all about. Because it's like people really don't realize what you put out does come back to you. That's why I like when
Exactly.
people are so negative. I'm like, hey, here's a hug, or
Right?
hey, you got this. Keep smiling. And it rubs off on people, and it's like it's
It
kind of
sure
crazy because people
does.
miss you when they don't see you. They're like, where you at? Because you don't really realize how positive you can be in people's lives till you're gone, not gone dead, but
Exactly.
like gone missing,
Mhm.
like doing something else. And so I think it's important to be that impact. And it starts one person at a time, y'all. You got to change the world one mind at a time. You can't change them every day. You can't change everybody.
Mhm.
But like I told somebody yesterday, I said, you know what? They had an issue with, I think, a white black thing, or like,
Mhm.
getting across to them. I said, then you find leaders that look like them. Because people are gonna always team up to the leader that they look like, that resembles
Yeah.
them, that they can that have the same life that they had, that kind of thing,
Mhm.
resemble. So find a leader that looks like them and team up with them, and then that's how you get them. Oh, Carlos, that's what he was saying. We said it on Wednesday. Carlos was
Yep.
saying about how the white lady was saying all this and this and that, and when he was driving and on the one-way street thing. So yeah, and that's what I said to them. That's what I said then, and that's why I came back.
Yeah, no, and it
Yeah, you gotta.
definitely
Yeah.
it's relevant to everything, honestly. You just kind of, you have to be positive and then look for those positive role models and attach yourself to them because they're the ones that will change the world. They're the ones people are looking up to and they're the ones that can have a platform and use it for good. And that's what I hope we are for people, that we are that bigger voice and brighter voice and, more impactful voice for issues like that we go through.
Right, I agree. I'm sorry. I was switching back and forth. I was doing something that wouldn't make too much noise.
We're
Podcast
used to
life.
it, Troy. We're used to it.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, cool.
we're used to weird silences, and we know one of us is scratching our ass or yelling at
uh,
somebody. We
right. Get out of
know.
my room. Right. Yeah.
So we're
I love
used to
it
it.
though, because we have come a long way, Courtney. We've come a
Yeah, I
long way. Like
know.
this is like I definitely look forward to what like people look forward to. Like my coworkers ask me now, like, oh, when's your next podcast? Or oh, they ask
Mhm.
me about podcast. So it feels good to
I love
be able
it.
to have that from people who care. It
By
feels
the
good.
way, speaking
Mhm.
of positivity, my friend Jin, she actually said that she loved our anniversary episode the most. She thought it was amazing.
Oh
So
wow!
shout out to Jin and thank
Shout out to you,
you.
Jen. I am. Oh, cool. Shout out to you,
Awesome.
girl. We appreciate it. Yeah, man, I'm in awe because it's really a dream come true. Like, I never even thought I'd be doing podcasts, to be real. Like, it was something that my daughter's mom wanted to do, and I'll give credit where credit is due. Honestly, I told you I
Mhm.
already reached out to her, but I spoke to her about trying to do it with me, but I don't even know. Like, she hasn't really told me she's interested in it. So I'm like, I might as well just keep it moving. Like, she was the one who got me into podcasts. It was her
Mhm.
dream, and when you with me as the man in your life, I'm gonna support you. So I'm like, all right, well,
Exactly.
you keep saying you want to do this, so let's do it. So we started our own podcast called The Grown Ups, as you know, because this is what happens. And reality is this: when you have a kid, a child, children, give birth, you become a grown up because it goes
Mhm.
from kids, grown ups, everything becomes a grown up. Now, so don't talk like that. You're not grown enough yet. You're not a grown up. So
Mhm.
we had a podcast called The Grown Ups, and it was pretty dope. It was pretty cool. And we would just get nice and just
Of
talk about
course.
things being a grown up, and it was really awesome. And so I was hoping that she would team up with me to do it because I really wanted to bring it back, especially that we
Mhm.
had the platform Savage Media Radio. I was like, we can give it
Exactly.
another day or something, or make it a one time thing, whatever. Check it out, but hey, you can lead a horse
Hey,
to
the
water, but you can't make
future.
them drink.
Who knows what exactly? Who knows what the future holds, though? She may come around and be like, you know what? Now that I think about it, and then there you go, show number 5. So
That'd be awesome. Yeah, the
that
radio
would be
stuff is coming
nice.
along. We're still trying to figure out the logistics. I'm gonna get you connected
Yes, you
with
have
with
to. You have to
Jade.
connect Boss
Yeah,
Lady.
I'm gonna do it on Facebook. I'm gonna do a group chat. We're gonna connect,
Cool.
and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna take Savage Media Radio to Crescent Sky's Crescent Radio, and vice versa. We're gonna bring the
Nice.
radio to the podcast and the podcast to the radio with the two bosses
Making
together.
moves.
Maybe we need to have you two do a podcast together, you and
Yes, that
Jade.
would be awesome. That would be
That
great.
would be dope because her in the radio, you in podcasts, you in events planning and all that. I think that two
Mhm.
bosses together but be able to empower some women. You never know. We're having some seminars, festivals, or who never know. You never know what the future
Sometimes you never
holds.
know.
Yeah,
We have so many skills and so many, positive energy and personality and everything that we can build mountains. We were gonna take over the world.
we can build
Daquan
mountains.
said,
Yeah,
dope ideas. Thank you, Daquan. See, positivity. All you need is positivity in your life, positive people that root for you, like Daquan, and then we could just do whatever our hearts desire.
right. And the only reason why Crystal's not here is because Crystal's at work. She was gonna get off work early and she's gonna go home
Hmm.
and get on the podcast. She's actually gonna come on as a guest today, finally, but
Hmm.
she ended up staying to work, so she didn't. But shout out
Well,
to Crystal
hi,
because I know she's working.
Crystal. You're here in
Yes,
spirit.
she is. And Crystal came to my show. I had 3 shows, well, 2, because
Ah,
the last one was a disaster because we showed up and the
why?
venue was not even what they said it was.
Oh,
Didn't happen.
wow.
Yeah, but we did 2 performances.
That's good.
Me and God's Beloved, it was cool. Crystal came. I had someone that came to my karaoke one time, came and showed up and showed support.
See, now I look like an even shittier person because I still haven't come. I haven't brought my ass out to the city, because me and city and anxiety don't match, but I'm gonna make it happen.
I know. You know what? Because tonight's a good night, Courtney. I got my big show with the band tonight in the
Oh my
city.
God.
Get
No,
in
you
the
can't put
car.
that kind of pressure on me. I'll have a
I know
breakdown.
you would die. I know. I'm
I'll
sorry.
have
I'm
a
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, but you
But
gotta make
no,
it
this is
happen. Courtney.
going to
Next Friday, I'm
happen.
back on again. We're back on again at Harlem Nights next Friday.
Oh, good, because at
Um,
least I've researched Harlem Nights. I've literally done so much research because I'm attempting to get down there one day, and I looked up the address, how to get there, the walking distance from whatever,
oh.
all that stuff.
Mm,
So
mm.
yeah, okay, cool. That familiarity is good for me.
Courtney, stop playing. Stop playing games.
I will
Stop
get
playing
there.
games.
I
Yeah,
promise.
come through. Yeah, you're gonna love it. It'll be great to have you in the city, to see you on my side. I've been to your side a couple times. Stop playing with me,
Yes,
Courtney.
I know. That's why I'm said
Stop
I'm such a shitty
playing.
person because you've been over here so many times and I got to get out there. I got it. And best believe if I get there, it is a commitment, sir. All right? So, I must really care about you.
Yes, I understand and know.
So, just
I
letting you
understand and
know,
know.
I will get there. I promise.
Yes, I understand. No, you care about me, Court. I do.
Of course.
Yes. So if you're suffering from anxiety, about to sound a commercial. If you're suffering from anxiety, um,
You're
No, real
stupid.
talk. If you're suffering from anxiety, we would love to hear from you, just in general, because it's something, it's an ongoing thing. Now we can help you beat this battle. Hashtag the
Hmm.
Prince of Positivity can help you. Along with It's
Yes.
Coco Blue and Daquan, all of us can help you. Beat this anxiety. It's important. On Coco's journey, we should get Coco's journey. You should talk, do a vlog. Facebook, you always on Facebook. You should let people know. 21 days of I can do it and you can't stop me. Start a campaign. You never know,
I
Corey.
do like to. I use my Facebook as a platform, like I said, to be an advocate for a lot of people. I always share my struggles. I remember I had gone 6 weeks anxiety free, actually. That was the longest I
Mm.
ever gone, and I had told everybody every week that I was anxiety free because it's a big deal. When I say every day, it's a struggle. It's every day. So when I notice I've gone 2 days without being worried about something or feeling paranoia, then that means something's good's happening. So as soon as like 3 days went by or 4 days went by, it's like I've been 4 days without, I've been 4 days strong without stressing, without a panic attack, blah blah blah. And it went till 6 weeks, and I was letting everybody know, and they were all, they were along with me on that journey because I have a lot of people on my page that
Mm.
suffer from the same things. So I was like, this feels good to be that, like, if I could do it, you can do it, two-person for them. So it was great. And then when I had another fall, I told people, well, it was good while it lasted. I had another breakdown, and we were all there for each other, and it's awesome. So I do one day
Wow. So you
want to
already did
use that.
that.
Yeah, I one day want to make that like a primary thing that I do, which is just be an advocate for mental health and just keep sharing my stories and helping people and counsel, things like that, because it's something that 3 million people suffer from. 3 million people suffer from anxiety, but they suffer silently. A lot of them, like 80% of people, don't seek help for mental health, and that's a problem. So if I
Whoa,
could
whoa,
be
whoa, whoa,
that
whoa, whoa,
help.
whoa, whoa. Backspace, delete that. Say it again.
Yes, 80% of people who suffer from mental health issues don't seek help at all. They just try
Do
to
you know?
self-medicate, deal with it
You know what the
themselves.
percentage is of race, or what the race is
I
to that?
don't, I do have to break that down one day on another show. I'm going to break it down because that's something that we really have to tackle, is that
I'm gonna challenge you, Court, to do that,
people
please,
don't
because
get help, and it's a shame. But I want to be at least that kind of help for somebody, for that one person, those two people, because it's bad. And when you don't tell
we
people
could,
you're going through it, it can kill you.
yes, it can. Stress can kill you faster than
Yes.
anything in this world, and I think it's best we can. Would love to do something like, do you have anxiety video, and then push him to
Yeah.
push him towards us to free yourself. Like maybe we can make this, it's a people's platform, get people on here to free themselves. Man, my goal is to have people freeing themselves and saying, "Hey, thanks to free
Yes.
myself, I freed myself," because that's
Yep.
what it's for.
Yes, exactly.
Because thanks to free
Exactly.
yourself, Troy and Courtney freed ourselves. I became out as
Yeah.
pansexual and was like, hey, I'm living my real truth. And Courtney,
And I
has come
cry
over here.
less.
Oh, wow. Come on. Teamwork.
So, positivity.
Hashtag Prince of
Can I say
Positivity.
something funny though?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh wait, real quick, I just want to get to Daquan. He said, I gotta come through. Yes, I know, Daquan. I have to show up for the fam. I know, I will get there. And then he also says, congrats, because I was saying I was, 6 weeks anxiety free at that one point. He goes, I just discovered I had anxiety myself, honestly. Well, congratulations to you, Daquan, because that takes a lot out of a
It
person to
does.
really just kind of say, hey, I know I have something going on, and I'm not crazy. I just want to identify this. So, congratulations to you for that. He also says, as a young black man, they never made it acceptable to understand we have issues. And I look back and realize since I was 8 years old, I've suffered from anxiety. It leads me. I'm sorry, he just made another comment. He leads me to be overproductive, yes, which is very true, and paranoid. So, like I said, you are not alone. I suffer from the same thing. It's debilitating, to be totally honest with you. So, I know all of the aspects of it, and I understand 100%. And that absolutely, when it comes to like the African American community or just minorities in general, a lot of times mental health becomes dismissed. You tell people, hey, I'm going through something, like, nah, nigga, you just need sleep. It's not like people
hmm
don't realize, no, you
hmm
really need to talk to someone. And that, because
Nigga, I need a hug.
right? Exactly. Like, being a minority, you are brought up to be strong. You're brought up to fight. You're brought up to handle yourself. And when you say, "Hey, I think I have a problem," people view you as having a weakness, and that's something that needs to stop in this, especially in this country. Stop putting a stigma on people who have a mental health illness or struggle with issues, or may have something that they're suffering from as a trauma or anything. Because when as soon as you dismiss someone, and I said this once on Real Shit Friday, the moment you dismiss someone, you literally knock them down like 10 pegs, because they come to someone for help and then you tell them nothing's wrong with you, then they're like, where do I go from here? So please don't be that person. Please don't knock someone down that low, because you don't know what that could lead to. So just please don't dismiss people, especially if you don't understand what they're going through. So I'm glad you brought that up, Daquan. That was very important. I did want to tackle that. So thank you. And then he also says, being in foster care at the age of 8 changed my behavior and had me feel lost. And I'm so sorry for you to have gone through that, Daquan. Totally understand again. Growing up, like I said, not around a lot of people my age, not around a lot of people, period. But relatively lonely. I do understand. It makes you feel lost, and you know, makes you doubt yourself and your self-worth. So I'm so glad that you're in a better place now. That makes me feel happy. I'm sure it makes Troy feel amazing, having you free yourself about this too on here.
It
But one
does.
funny thing,
I love you. Yeah, I love you because
we
yeah.
we do love you. But one funny thing, when you when you call yourself Prince of Positivity, do you watch Bob's Burgers at all?
No.
Oh my God, please watch Bob's Burgers. It is the best show ever. Funny
Ah,
tidbit, because there's this guy character on there who's actually there was a dentist on the show, and he said that he learned how to meet women and be with women from watching a video from this guy called Prince of Persuasia. It's really just this guy who has a different scam all the time, but his latest scam was dressing up in like an outfit that Prince would wear, and he basically calls himself Prince of Persuasion, and he's telling people the completely wrong way of dealing with women, but for some reason it works. So he's like, make sure you back them into a corner. Make sure that if they tell you they don't want attention, show them attention. And make sure you treat them badly. It opens up the their what do you call it? It opens up their gland called insatiate and makes them want to mate for sex. It was great. It's just every time you call yourself Prince of Positivity, that pops in my head. I gotta get
oh
that
my
video on
gosh.
the website.
Oh, find it on YouTube. You're gonna fucking freak me out now. I'm like, oh my
I
god.
was like, I can't. I was like, I have to share that story because it's killing me. I was like, I can't. I can't even take it seriously. I got to get this out of my head. I'm gonna show you guys that I mean. But
Let's
don't
show
mind
you.
me. One more comment from Daquan says, one day, if we can, hopefully, I can join the show and we can discuss some of these things. I wanted a podcast at one point to speak on a bunch of things. Absolutely. You're always welcome. We want you to come
Always.
on.
You have no
Like, of
idea what you're
course.
missing out on. The longer you take to get here, Daquan, the more people are missing out on what you got, because you got a lot of knowledge, brother.
Exactly.
You already know that, so I'm gonna call you out on it. Because there are people that need that knowledge that you have, and it's hearing your voice versus hearing Courtney's voice through your texts will
Yep.
be a big difference. And there's a lot
Yes.
of men that need to hear your voice. So there's a lot of men who out here on fathers like we are who need to be hearing these things. You feel me?
Of
So
course.
Daquan, stop playing. Stop playing. Stop
And we
playing.
need your wisdom. We need, we're wise ourselves, but we're not that wise. So we need you. You
You've
are
been a wise piece of this puzzle for so long. You've been like Casper.
exactly.
He's there, but you
Exactly.
don't see him. Right. That was so
But
perfect.
yeah, but all in all, guys, I just wanted to share kind of my experience today with reading that post, and the different things it brought up in my mind. And when Troy asked me to think of a topic, I was like, perfect, because I can go on for days about this one. And so I wanted to make sure I brought it, because I know next time you're gonna give me this opportunity. So I had to
You
I
never
had to
know,
show
right?
it
I had
off.
to. It was a rarity. It was a rarity. Like I had some things I wanted to talk about, but I was just like, nothing wasn't resonating the way I usually like. It usually resonates with me. So I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
Usually you don't ask me either. So I'm like, She asked me what we were talking about. She must.
It
She
was
must be feeling something in her
definitely.
spirit. So let me give it to her.
Well, thank you. It was definitely a sign. I don't know what made me ask you, but I was just like, I wonder what he's. I mean, maybe I felt like it was something that needed to be talked about, because
Hmm.
a post like that would clearly get ignored by everybody, as opposed to a post about some dumb shit. So I wanted to show the importance that of people who do create Facebook pages to get, the word out about things that aren't being talked about, or things that aren't entertaining or funny or silly, or we need to spread more information about mental health. It's really a growing issue in this country, and a lot of it comes from social media. So why don't you attack it at the source and
Hello.
get people knowledge and information and put it out there in the world. So I wanted to give whoever made that post on the anxiety page of Facebook, I want to give you a thank you and a round of applause, because I truly appreciated that you made that post and you put that up there for it to be shared and get to me. So thank you for that. But my time is done, Troy. You can close out your show. You can say some jokes. I don't know. It's up to you.
I'm loving it. No, Miss Courtney, you really good at leading. You can't be shy. Like, look, I lead everything in my life. I'm always leading. I'm always hosting. I'm always doing stuff. So I have to learn to, let those around me who need that leadership to step up, who I challenge those to step up, who need it. And so I'm going to challenge you, girl. I'll challenge everyone around me. When they say they're having a bad day, I'm like, smile. Let me see it. There we go. Like,
sure do.
It's only as bad as you allow it to be. You can have control over that. I go into work every day and I say, you know what? It's even gotten as serious as praying every day and saying, God, I want these tables right here. I want to sit here. All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let me
very
go.
true. And I thank you for that. Appreciate that. I hope
You
I
got it.
spread some knowledge.
Gotcha. Oh, you definitely did. The doorbell's ringing, so you might hear it in the background. But yeah, as in closing, Courtney, as we do the round table, go ahead and go ahead and let them know what it is on the way out. Drop that knowledge on them and let them know how you feeling, what's good before we move.
I don't know if I have any more knowledge bombs, guys. I think I'm all knowledged out. Just basically, please do your best to be as understanding around people who may have, be suffering from some mental health issues. Please don't dismiss them. Please educate yourself, because for all you know, your next door neighbor, your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad can be suffering from something silently, and you don't want to damage a relationship or damage a person permanently by ignorance. So please try to educate yourself on something that is a growing issue, and literally every third person that you come across has a mental health issue. So please don't isolate them, and do your best to just instill some compassion in your personality, and make sure that you're knowing that everyone goes through something silently that we know nothing about. So do your best to just treat everybody with respect and positivity, and the world will be a better place. So that's my closing.
Got it. Thank you so much, Courtney. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you so much. I didn't know it was 1 and 3. Now that's something new for me.
Yes.
I didn't know it was 1 and 3. So that's important. This was really good. That was a really good closeout, Courtney. Wow, I'm trying to think about what can I say after that. Really good closeout. Yeah. So with that being said, I just want to, if you're suffering with anxiety again, please, 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 don't forget to let us know and utilize this platform for what it is. I want to dedicate the whole month, if we can, maybe next month, to anxiety, so we can really make videos, post, and be more active about getting more people involved in it to really face those issues. And so I think that's important, especially because of what happened today, with Daquan. And, it's important that, we continue to be that bridge for each other. We continue to be that stepping stone for each other, that shoulder, that shoulder to cry and lean on when we need, so it's important that we do that for each other. And it's only one way to do it. Change one mind at a time, utilizing every platform you have, every platform you have as a person, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Instagram, whether that's Tumblr, whether that's, drawing, whatever it may be, utilize the platform you have to make change. Because, tomorrow's not promised to nobody. And you don't want that moment to come in life where your time ends and you're like, dang, I still had so much more to do. I wasn't ready. And you don't want to be that person or be in that situation. Yeah. So smell the roses while they're here, and be a part of life while you're here. And so free yourself, y'all. It's Troy Weeks Music and Coco Blue. Until next week, until next time.
Stay savage.
Stay savage, ladies and gentlemen.
Free yourself. Free your mind. Free your heart. Let it go free. I say free. Free yourself. Free your mind. Free your heart. Let it go free. Free yourself.